Hey, thanks for clicking on the video. Thanks for checking out the YouTube channel. Savage Performance Garage. So I'm back today at the shop. I came in, it's on a Saturday. Came in, had to do a little bit of paperwork and stuff. And I wanted to go ahead and shoot a video, or at least a part one of this truck behind me. I talked about this truck in a previous video, and I'll leave a link in the description below on that one if you want to check it out. We actually talked about, on that video, we had another car in here that I was showing you about, but I did preview this a little bit. So on this video, I'm going to talk about this one. I'm going to try to keep it a little bit shorter. On the last video, it was a really kind of a long video. Anyway, so this truck is a 1949 Ford F1. I'm not sure if it had a 6-cylinder or the 8-cylinder in it back in the day. It has a Chevrolet 350 engine in it now. So this thing has been owned by the same guy for years. I'm not sure how long, 30 years, whatever. He used to run around in this thing, had fun with it. The engine had a hot little cam in it, a little stall converter, old school setup. And for whatever reason, they parked it, and it was sat in a field for a long time. And he just wants to get this thing running again. So we actually did a bunch of work on his son's car. He had a 70 Torino GT 351 Cleveland. We did a bunch of work on that one. So he liked the work, and he wanted us to get this thing going. So he brought us the truck, and the first thing I wanted to do was check the compression on the motor. It looked kind of rough. As you can see, the truck is not much to look at, but he doesn't really care about that. He wants to get this thing running. He wants to be able to drive it and have fun with it. So we checked compression on the motor, and actually here's the motor right here. It had one dead cylinder. It had 3 other cylinders that had between 40 to 50, 60 pounds of compression. And it had a couple that were a little bit over 100. So obviously we have to rebuild it. So as you can see, it's seen its better days. Look at that freeze plug. So we're going to rebuild it. It's a 4-bolt main block. As you can see, the 4-bolt mains right there. You got your 2, 3, and 4, or 4 bolts. Your back one is a 2-bolt, your front one's a 2-bolt. Typical Chevrolet. So it is a standard bore 350. We're gonna bore it 30 over. The cylinder walls don't look bad. The crank doesn't look bad. Well, one cylinder wall is a little bit rusty, so not sure what's going on, but we're gonna bore it out, resurface the crank, have the rods reconditioned, shave the block a little bit, new pistons, bearings, you know, the whole deal. We're putting a roller cam in this thing. We're not going back with a flat tappet. Like I had talked about on the last video, we don't do flat tappet cams. The metal in them cams nowadays are, you know, not very good. So we're gonna do a roller cam, which is really gonna wake this thing up. It's got an Edelbrock. I think it's a 750. I'm not sure. I have to run the numbers on it. We're going to rebuild the Edelbrock carb. It's got an Edelbrock Torquer 2 intake manifold. So we're going to probably make it around 400, 450. Probably around 450. With a 350 Chevy, we're going to put a good set of aluminum heads on it, get a right combination of stuff, put some long tubes on it. Probably be about 450 horsepower. So anyway, enough on the motor. On this truck, we're doing all the suspension. We're doing kingpins. We're having a hard time getting this one out. The kingpins they're definitely wore. We can get a lot of movement on the kingpins. This one we've already got out. It actually came out with no problem. There it is down here. The spindle. There's the old pin. So we got a kingpin kit coming. We just have to get this side out. I got this thing under pressure right now. I've got it lubricated up real good. We're gonna try it again on Monday, heat it up, try to get it out. Yeah, it looks pretty rough. I mean, it's got a lot of surface rust on it. We're not gonna do these. I thought about going ahead and replacing all these, but they've been obviously greased really, really good. So we're not going to do anything with those right now. We do have new shocks, front and rear. Like I say, we're doing new kingpins. We are doing, actually the tie rod ends and all the steering link components are tight. We couldn't get any movement out of them, which I was really surprised. So we're not going to be replacing them. Let's see, we'll go to the back. We're doing all the brakes. We already got everything off. We've cleaned everything up. We've got new wheel cylinders. We already got the shocks on the back here. Some KYBs. Get over here. So we got new wheel cylinders, front and rear. We got new brake shoes on the front and the rear. The back ones, these are actually the front ones. The back ones will be coming in on Monday. We're doing a new master cylinder. Here's the seals for the front bearings. We got new brake hoses, front and rear. We only needed one drum on the back. The other drums, I've already dropped them off. We're getting them resurfaced. See, actually, here's the one drum that was bad. As you can see, it got chewed up. And the reason this one was chewed up is because the parking brake cable was seized. So we have two new rear parking brake cables coming. We got a new front cable coming. That's what this is, hanging right here. This is the front cable. We've already got everything all unhooked. As you can see, we've got a mess going on here. But we're gonna clean it all up. Get all this out of here. All the wiring is gone. It looks like to me that through the years, somebody made a homemade harness. Like all the wiring that runs to the back, it's all homemade. I guess these trucks didn't have much of a wiring harness anyway. But let me get the light because I don't think you can see that. See, that's all harm. Look at that. They're just tied together. This is all homemade stuff. All this is coming out. We have got a complete wiring harness kit, and I'll show you that in a minute. It's a universal wiring harness kit that we're going to be doing. So this whole deal for the parking brake cables is in good shape. It's not wore out at all. It pivots, it works fine. So we're not replacing that. But like I say, the parking brake cables, the one in the front that's hanging right there, that one is being replaced. We already removed the back ones. Those are going to be replaced. We are doing all new brake lines, brake hoses, wheel cylinders. We're doing the hardware kit for the springs. All the springs were rusty. They're all laying up here. I mean, they're not really in bad shape. They're just, you know, old and surface rusted. But as cheap as these things are, we're just getting them all new. Let's see. What else? Oh, here's the hubs. We actually pressed the hubs out of the drums in the front. We're going to clean those up. The bearings and the races were in good shape. We're going to repack them and put them back on. These are the shocks they had on the front. So we got new shocks coming for the front. We're going to do a new wiper motor. This thing still has the original vacuum controlled wiper motor. We're getting rid of that and putting they have an electric wiper motor conversion kit for these. It comes with the switch for the wipers. So that's cool. We're going to be doing that. We're going to be doing the vent windows. It has roll-up windows, and they work. The vent windows are missing, so we're getting new vent windows. The tail lights, we got new tail lights coming from LMC Truck. These are, they look like the original ones from the pictures, but they're mounted a little bit different. And we're getting new tail lights with the brackets. From what I could tell, they had tail lights like this if you didn't have a bumper. If you had a bumper, it had a bracket on it that put them up here. And then the wiring is going to come out of the back of the tail light. It's going to go down and then up. And we're getting everything that puts that back to original. So we're getting the tail light for both sides. See, this one's broken. And of course, we'll be wiring all that up. He's got the tailgate up in there. We've got to get the hinges for the tailgate so we can put his tailgate back on. We're going to get all that done. So mechanically, this thing is going to be completely done mechanically. It's not going to look good. And man, these trucks are not that heavy. I just don't understand. Maybe you guys could fill me in on that with the comments, but with the motor and transmission in this truck, it was very easy to push compared to some of the cars that we push in. So it's just not that heavy. So I could see where this thing could be pretty fast. We're putting a little stall converter in it. Yeah, let me show you the wiring kit that we're going with. It's a universal kit. It's an American Auto Wire, part number 510760. And really, man, these things are affordable. They've got a whole bunch of different styles. The one that I went with is not a column keyed, but a dash mount ignition key system. And I mean, this is basically it. This is the fuse box or fuse block and relay block it comes with. And it's got everything is all plug and play, except some of the stuff on the ends we'll have to wire. But you know, it's for your basic setup. We can do a third brake light kit if we wanted to, which we're not. The tail lights is going to be, you know, it's set up for left-hand turn signal, stoplight, which these trucks didn't even have a turn signal. But we can get an optional turn signal right here. I got to ask him to see if he wants to do that. And if he does, then we'll have to add, oh, wrong way. We'll have to add turn signals to the front. The back lights will be a brake light and a tail light. So as long as it's a brake light and tail light and has two wires feeding it, we can add turn signal to that through this junction box. This kit comes with a high-low beam switch, which mounts on the floor, which this one does have. It comes with a new switch, comes with everything that plugs into it. It's going to have a headlight switch in it, and then it's already set up to plug into the headlight switch. So like I say, this is also included in the kit if we want to add a universal turn signal. So he'll probably want that. We'll have to get the turn signal. That's an option for the turn signal switch. I probably should have asked him that to go and went ahead and order this, but it's no big deal. I can get this, you know, from the manufacturer or from the supplier that I use anyway. The brake light switch, I don't believe comes in it, because the brake light switch on this truck is actually a pressure switch that goes to the back of the master cylinder, and I have all that coming new. So it's even got wiring for the wiper motor. So when we install the new wiper motor, we'll be good to go there. Except the wiper motor we use is already going to have its own switch with it. So we'll just be tying in to this to get power. Everything's going to be fused. There's the ignition switch. This comes with a new ignition switch and it plugs right in. It's already set up for that. Let's see what else. It's got the setup for the gauges. Of course, we're going to be running new gauges and everything in the truck. It's got two maxi fuses, one for the alternator and one for the battery feed. So that's cool. It's set up for HEI, which this is HEI. Yeah, man, this is really, it's got the headlight you know, it's the old school headlights, which has got the 3-prong, and that's what these have. So it's already got all the connectors for that in this kit. I mean, this is really a perfect setup for this truck. That's why I ended up picking it, and it's not really that expensive, man. Like I say, the part number is a 510760 American Auto Wire. Y'all check them out. It's pretty cool. Yeah, so we're kind of excited for that. So we're going to be, you know, wiring the whole truck up. That way everything will be working fine. Everything will be safe. Relays, fuses, the whole deal. Because they didn't, back then this was a 6-volt setup. Hell, I don't even know if they had fuses on this thing. Maybe they did. They just don't have a fuse box in it. So let me see, am I missing anything? The transmission. The transmission is a turbo 350. And that's the converter. We're going to go through it and rebuild it. Might throw a little bit of stuff, probably shift kit in there. We're gonna have a little, like I say, a little stall converter. Nothing big, just something a little bit small for the cam. And we already talked about all these. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. We're gonna have fun with this one, that's for sure. So y'all stay tuned for that. I just want to kind of go over that with you. Once we get this thing, you know, we're going to do all the suspension first, get all the suspension, get the brakes done, get it back on the ground, and then we're going to start on the motor. Since we already got it, we just got to pop the pistons out. Actually, my bad, the pistons are out. We've already got them out. We just left the crank sitting in there for now. So we're going to be dropping off that off at the machine shop here probably next week. And because it'll take them probably 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks to get it done for us, because they're so busy. But at least that way we'll get that rolling. And you know, maybe get this thing done in a month or two. He's not in no hurry for it. I figured this is going to be kind of a winter project. Once we get the suspension done on it, we got to get it on the ground, roll it outside, get this motor dropped off at the machine shop, and in the meantime we'll be bringing something else in to start working on, since we got so many projects. So okay, I'm going to cut this video off. We're 17 minutes 30 seconds into it. So that's the front end there. Like I said, I went ahead and took one headlight out because I wanted to see what kind of lights were in there. These did come with 6-volt lights. Somebody's already changed it to 12 volt since it was a 12-volt setup. And you know, these will be replaced with the new ones that comes in the kit, the old style 3-prong. And the headlights were working fine, so we'll be good with that. Alrighty. Well, listen, thanks for checking in. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this one off, and we'll catch you on the next one. So please like, subscribe, and share this video, and check out the links below. I'm gonna put a link in there for our YouTube channel, or I'm sorry, our Facebook channel, and I'll put a link in there for the other video that I talked about this. I got 2 other videos before this one, and I'll put the links in there for both of them if y'all want to check them out. So appreciate you checking in on us, and we'll catch y'all on the next one.